Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you how I created my first Cricut project. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please go ahead and do so. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be the first to get my next upload. I have cut out my decal prior to the video, so what I'm doing here, I have my mat with my decal on it, and I'm just going to use some alcohol to wipe it off because it does collect a lot of foreign dust. So that's what I'm doing. Once I am done wiping this mat off, I am going to put it to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and use my transfer tape. And what I'm doing here, I'm just going to put that over that black vinyl to measure to make sure it's the same size, and I'm just eyeballing it, guys. All I'm doing here, eyeballing it, measuring with my finger. I'm going to put that to the side. Then I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors, and I'm going to cut that piece of transfer tape that I need. While cutting my transfer tape, this roll won't stop unrolling, so I just use my alcohol and I use that to hold it to the side, and that's it. We got it steady and we're just cutting away. Once I was done cutting my transfer tape, I went ahead and I used my little squeegee tool, and I'm just rubbing across the vinyl. Then I'm going to use my weeding tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and start picking up that part of the vinyl that I don't need. So if you guys notice, I have to go back in because the vinyl wasn't sticking. So there we go. So now I'm just rubbing. You got to press hard, and you got to make sure you have time and patience while doing it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try from a different end to see if my decal is stick to my mat while I pick up the vinyl. So I'm just moving that slowly. I'm peeling that away, and there we go. Now you can see where the decal is sticking. So I'm just slowly pulling that away. Guys, you got to make sure you go really slow while doing this. You know, it's my first project, and yeah, I'm learning. So, but you just got to go really slow, and because you will lose letters, or you will lose some of your stencil. Letters, numbers, whichever it is. All the items that I'll be using in today's DIY project will be in my description box below, so feel free to go ahead and check that out. Yes, I'm just still trying to pull that apart without losing any of my letters or my decal, because I don't want to recut this. I don't want to waste vinyl. I mean, practice become perfect, but I really don't want to recut this. So that's all I'm doing. I could have speed this part of the video up, but for people who are going to be using their Cricut for the first time, just so that you know, this is how it works. You got to go really slow. At this point, I had enough, so I went for my scissors and I just cut that excess piece off. And once I cut that piece off, it was way easier for me to finish removing the vinyl. So you guys could see there. So yeah, sometimes you just got to cut off that heavy piece or that large piece to keep it moving. Yeah, and that's what it looks like after I peel the excess off that I don't need. So what I'm doing here now, I'm just going in with my weeding tool, and I'm just taking out the other small pieces of excess of vinyl that I don't need. So I'm going in between the Y's and I'm just moving those. Oopsie, while peeling up my zero, everything came up, so I just went ahead and I went to town with my hands and I pulled that out. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the piece that I needed back. So I'm just going to do that, and it's going to happen to both pieces of the zero. So it came apart, and I just went back and I put that sticky part back to the backing of my vinyl. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my squeegee tool, and I'm just going to rub it over my letters to make sure it's fully stick to the mat. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my transfer tape, and I'm just going to kind of like hover my transfer tape over my decals because I want to make sure I have it lined up properly. So I'm just gonna put it down very lightly. I'm not gonna stick it, because if you put it down too hard or start pasting it, and you can't, once you do that, then that's it. You have to recut it if it's not in the right way. Or maybe there's a different way to do it. I don't know. I'm still learning. It's my first project. So now I got the transfer tape the way how I need it. So I'm going in with my little squeegee tool, and I'm just gonna rub across these letters to make sure they stick to my transfer tape. Okay, we're on to the next step. So I'm using a 12-inch round wood. It's a thin cut 12-inch round wood, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my vinyl, or my decal, sorry, and I'm gonna put that over the wood just to make sure it's lined up in the place that I want it to be at the end of my project. And once I get that in place that I want it to be, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my painter's tape, and I'm gonna tape right across the top part of my transfer tape. Once I was done taping my wood, I went ahead and I used my Waverly chalk paint in the color of white. This is the last dose of this paint. As you guys can see, it's almost done. So yes, this is the last dose of this paint. So I'm going to use my brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to paint right across the bottom half of my round wood. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint to my wood. I'm also going to go to the side of the bottom half, and I'm going to paint the edge. Guys, if I should redo this, I would have not been lazy, and I would go for a smaller brush to paint the side, because the brush was a little bit too big, so it kind of like get on the back side of the wood. But it's not a big deal, because you can paint the back side of your wood if you want to. And you know, it's for a good friend of mine, so I don't need to make the back side look all professional. I mean, it looks okay. But yeah, that's it. So now I'm going in and I'm going to use some alcohol. I wipe over my paint. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel off the back side from my decal, and I'm peeling slowly, and I want to make sure I don't pick up any of my lettering. You can easily lose the eyes, the dot to the eyes and stuff like that. So yes, you see that little piece? I thought it was the dot to my eye, but it was a piece that needed to go. So woohoo, it's gone. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hover over my paint area of my round wood to make sure I line this up how I want it. I'm going to gently place that down so it doesn't stick, to make sure it's in the perfect spot. So once I got it to be where I want it to be, then I'm going to put it down. I'm going to use my little squeegee, and I'm going to rub over the letters, and I'm going to put a little bit of pressure. Don't like rub like you're scrubbing the floor, but just a little bit of pressure, and to make sure that stick to my paint. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel back my transfer tape. You guys notice at the T I was peeling back, but it was pulling up, so I went from a different angle and I peeled from the bottom, and there we go. So now I'm just going to use my finger. Sometimes you got to do that to hold the letters in place while I pull back my transfer tape, and it's coming off nicely, guys. Look at that. And I'm going very slowly because I don't want to lose anything. So you notice I have to keep going in, put some pressure, peeling slowly, and I'm just peeling back slowly. That is coming out absolutely beautiful. I am so proud. But yeah, that's just it. So I am going to save this piece of transfer tape because I could reuse it. So I'm going to put it right back onto the back end. So now I'm going to dress up my sign. I made this bowl prior to the video. And these are some greenery that I have on hand. And this is not for me, so I'm going to use my heavy duty staple gun, to staple the greenery. If it was mine, I would use some hot glue, but these people are not crafters, and I don't want it to fall apart when it gets where it's going, because I'm shipping this out. So yes, so that's what I'm doing, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I put 2 pieces of greenery on that side. Then I'm going to use some Jute twine, and I'm going to measure that for to hang my sign. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach my bow, and I'm using generous. When I said generous, I mean generous amount of hot glue. Like I said, I do not want this to come apart, so I'm putting all the hot glue in the world on this bow to make sure it stays on. So yeah, I love that bow. Look how cute that is. I think it gives it a nice pop. So yes, I apply my bow, hold a little bit of pressure, waiting for my hot glue to dry. Once my hot glue is dry on my bow, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to flip my sign over. And guys, the reason why I'm using jute twine is because this sign is not heavy. It's super light. Like I said, it's the thin cut wood. So I wanted to originally staple my jute twine on, but I'm afraid the staple will come through on my front and mess my sign up. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach generous amount of hot glue. And this is not going anywhere, guys. I'm literally going across and across and across and across, and I'm sealing that in with hot glue so it doesn't come apart. And if you guys notice, you see that white paint, you could see a little bit of white paint. That's where I was talking about. If I should do this again, I would use a small brush to do the side, or I'll just paint the back. But like I said, it's no big deal. You know, it's looking good. The back is not going to show anyways. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using my Mod Podge sealer spray to seal the bottom half. I'm only going to spray it over where the decal is and the paint. And this is in a satin finish. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray that over it. And yeah, voila, that's it. The sign looks absolutely gorgeous. I love how it turns out. Please go ahead and type me a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about my first Cricut project. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell. Also, make sure you share this video with your friends and family. This way they won't miss out. This is my last video for 2020, and I want to say Happy New Year's to you all, and I wish you guys good luck and prosperity, and I hope this world will be a better world for the upcoming year. Guys, please stay safe and be blessed. Also, remember that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Until next time, be blessed.